Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Amar Elm, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're thrilled to have Adam Corcoran, the dynamic president and owner of Elevation Marketing, a Naples-based agency that's redefining branding for healthcare, education, and food businesses. With a track record of scaling home care agencies to millions and a passion for creative strategy, Adam has built a firm that delivers high ROI marketing solutions. Today, we'll dive into his founding journey, how Elevation Marketing elevates brands, and his plans to scale in the competitive marketing space. Adam, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, thank you for coming on. I always like to take things back. So start us from the beginning. Before you started the company, what made you want to get into the marketing space and start Elevation Marketing? And really, what problems are you looking to solve in the market?
Yeah, sure. So our company was started in 2020, which was an interesting time for most of us, as with the pandemic, COVID. To back up a little bit further than that, I am a self-taught graphic designer from high school. So I've developed skills from high school through college. I picked up some freelance clients with some design projects, focusing on brand building and printed collateral. During college, I would work with restaurants and establishments to be able to provide that type of support. And then throughout my career, I spent about a little bit over a decade with supporting home health, home care agencies with business development, using those same skill sets of having that graphic design background, marketing, sales. I saw during COVID that there was a big need. We saw that obviously with the pandemic, it was uncertain times for most people. Us as a home care agency during that time, that was my job at the time. I was working for a home care agency, and our goal was to get into the hospitals and rehabs and educate why home care was so relevant during that time of uncertainty. So I created a one-page flyer that really spoke specifically to the pain points of what was going on and why home care was going to be relevant. And very quickly, I saw that was becoming our main piece of collateral that was driving the business forward. Majority of our referral sources, the hospitals, the rehabs, they're all using it and handing it to family members, which drove our business. Our phone would not stop ringing. During the same exact time, we saw a lot of people on public forums, like on Facebook groups of home care owners, really stressed out about the uncertainty of what's going to happen within their business, not being able to go to market and effectively have sales calls. And they're complaining and they're like fearful of losing their business. And our business is seriously like doubling within weeks.
Wow.
So I found an opportunity where I said, how can I help this existing community? So I went to Facebook and I put out, and this kind of just goes to show you, like, by doing something of like good intent really led to some incredible things. So I went to that Facebook group and I posted on the group that I would be happy to design this flyer for them for free. I was not looking to make any money or commission or compensation. It was just a good gesture to be able to help our surrounding community. And within overnight, I got over 200 requests from supporting agencies and looking for that support. And very quickly, a business was born. We saw opportunities of really diving into some of these healthcare organizations, collateral, redesigning it. We got set up with printing operations. And then that just led to so many different things. So other than printing, we did promotional products like pens and chip clips and pads, all the way to apparel. So we have a full apparel division now. So it's been a crazy journey, but I wholeheartedly mean this. The business was born off of good intent. So if I can encourage anyone out there that has skills and finds needs, go after it and really do it with good intentions, and you don't know what's going to happen.
I love that. That's a beautiful lesson. And it sounds like you were giving without the expectation of receiving anything in return. And therefore, the universe opened its arms and just flooded you, right? 200 overnight. That's a lot. That's a lot of requests. I'm sure that was a lot of work starting off.
Oh,
Walk me through now, is elevation marketing your only focus? And if so, walk us through how you serve clients, how you generate revenue. What does that look like?
yeah. So what we're finding is we're not your traditional print shop, right? We want to like wholeheartedly strategize with our clients, understand what their goals are,
Mm,
right? It's important for us to be, if we're going to be a true partner, right? It's important for us to understand where they're going. Do people come to us and ask us for pens and flyers, brochures, business cards? Sure, but we're more than just that. So we found in the past, I would say year and a half, that we've really focused our energy on being able to go deeper within our relationships. So what do I mean by that is being able to uncover all the things that they're currently doing, right? And then see how do we play a part in that process. I'll give you a for instance. We work with a local hospital here in Southwest Florida, and we started working with them on the promotional product side, right? So their stress balls, hand sanitizers, etc. And we started to peel back some opportunities, and then we saw more opportunities in the printing division and then the apparel division. And more that we kept on working with that organization, we found that we were creating infrastructure within the organization that was more valuable than the dollars and cents, right? In a company that size, budgeting is certainly important, but creating efficiencies was a gold mine. So
mm,
for us, it was like we're coming in and we're their one-stop shop for their printing where they used to have a vendor. They used to have a vendor for their promotional products, their apparel product. They had the direct mail person who did their campaigns, their mailing. So like we came in and slowly started to integrate all these vendors into one place, which was us. So after I would say after year 2, my contact there said, "Adam, you have no idea. It's not even about the dollars and cents anymore. Like you're the value that you bring to the table in being able to create an infrastructure where we already know it's being taken care of is more valuable than anything."
mm,
So our vision going forward is, yeah, we're a printing company. Yeah, we can do shirts and hats and fun tchotchkes. But like, how do we play a crucial part to be able to, for small to mid-sized businesses to focus in on what they're good at, right? And let us handle the other stuff. When they said that to me, it was like game changing. And that light bulb went off and it's like, listen, we have something more than we even know. So how do we educate companies on that? And it's really about developing those stronger relationships and integrating ourselves into their day-to-day process to create those efficiencies.
yeah. I love that. I love that. It's true. If you can help them create that infrastructure and give them that peace of mind of, hey, we can take care of this and we have experience in your industry. We already know what you guys are doing. We already know the pain points you solve. We can speak directly towards that. Do you focus on just one geographical area or is it US wide?
Yeah, we're nationwide. It's quite funny. A lot of people early on, and think about it, that Facebook post that went somewhat viral, right? I got 200 requests overnight. They weren't geographically here, right? They were
Mm,
nationwide. We started drop shipping flyers across the nation within weeks of that post. So, like the first 3 years of our business really was like nationwide from the get. There was a point where we had more clients outside of Florida than we did inside of Florida. And now it's almost like a 50-50 split, but we can help people anywhere.
Do you guys, like in terms of the services and how you fulfill the services, now that you want to educate them more on how you can build the infrastructure, do you offer specific packages of, okay, if you're this business, you can come in and do this thing, or is it more as needed basis? If that makes sense, let me know if that makes sense.
Yeah. So we have a couple clients that retain us on a monthly basis, and that's more or less used as like a thought partner. So we have a standing meeting once a month where we'll have an agenda associated to any upcoming events or any marketing strategies. We truly operate as an extension of their team, right? Now, that might not be for everybody. So We uncover opportunities as people have them, but we like to do that in a systematic way, right? So I don't want to just say, "Tell me what you want, 250 pens," and then we fulfill it. I'd rather if someone were to come to me and say, "I want 250 pens," tell me more. Are you doing 250 pens because you have an upcoming event? Tell me more about the event. Because again, I want to use my strategic ability being in healthcare for the past decade to say, okay, oh, wait, you have a health fair related to veterans. Let me tell you what I did in my previous experiences that was really impactful when I did that type of event. It's a more of a value add. And that's why I say we're not your average print shop. You can go to anywhere and get pens. You can go to Vistaprint, you can go to Staples, you go anywhere. But you can't go to Staples and ask them to strategize with the guy behind the counter on their upcoming event. It's just not going to happen.
So it's like a print shop consulting. Would you say there's a coaching angle as well in there at all, or no?
Yeah, for sure. Look, at the end of the day, we want our clients to be successful. So if it comes down to it and spending a little bit more time to be able to have them get to that next
Yeah.
level, we want them to go execute at a high level because that only supports everybody. It helps them, right? Grow their business, gain stronger relationships in the marketplace. It strengthens our relationship, so they're gonna continue to come back to us and trust us. That's gonna lead to more and more things. And we started working with a local franchise that specializes in home care, and it's been really uplifting because not only are we able to provide quality materials, but we have the experience that a lot of these newer franchises are coming to market. They don't know how to go do sales, right? So
Mm.
let us be able to coach them, train them, create trainings and recordings that they can lean on for those resources to then be able to have confidence and go to market.
Yeah, that's very powerful. I'm curious, right now for you as a founder, how do you guys attract your clients for elevation marketing?
Yeah, it's interesting. As a marketing agency, you'd think that we spent a crazy amount of money in ad spend or even social media. To be quite frank, we are all referral based. Now, that's not to say that we won't have upcoming strategies, maybe doing some social media spending, because I think we can really prove ourselves and then pour gasoline on the fire. But we are 100% referral based. So most common what happens is someone strategizes with us on an upcoming event or a different marketing campaign. We do a full development of it and then deliverables. And when people get their stuff, to be honest, they want to show it off, right? They get their banner, they get their new shirts, they get their hats, and they want to show it off. They go post it on their social media, and then all of a sudden, comments are coming and people are asking, where did they get that? And it's just a natural organic flow. And that's where then from there, we just optimize those people inquiring. We book them calls. We do that discovery session and see if we're a good fit for them.
Yeah, and especially if you have 100% or almost 100% of your business coming from referrals, that's just a testament to how happy the customers are.
Right. It's true. It's true. And honestly, that's like, look, anyone can gain traction with paid ads, and I'm not knocking that. But
Yeah.
in my opinion, like I'd rather get someone say, "Hey, I got a referral from Joe, and Joe said you guys were awesome to work with." Like, that's a better feeling than someone converting through a Google ad all day.
Do you have some sort of referral system in place that you think is replicatable to other businesses, or does it just naturally, organically come in?
Yeah, well, we do our best to show appreciation for when people do take care of us. We have a reciprocation in some way. We'll try our best to go outside of the box for it doesn't always have to be like dollars and cents, but maybe we'll send them a welcome box with a thank you box with some branded swag. We like to go over and above the expectation. But when it comes to like referrals, really, we don't have a systematic way, which is actually even cooler, to be honest with you, because it's like we know that people are referring to us for the right reason because they've really truly had a good experience, not because they're going to get a commission on it.
That makes a lot of sense. As the owner, when you look at the next 6 to 12 months, what are your top priorities for scaling the company?
Yeah, and scaling is that in itself. We're at a pivotal moment now where we are attracting more clients. We just brought on a new employee. So we're a growing team. And my job as the leader is to really create the infrastructure within. Anytime we hire a new employee, it's like this puzzle game, right? Of saying, okay, these responsibilities are now going to go here, but these responsibilities are going to go here. So it's like a continuous challenge to really fine tune the strengths of our employees and making sure people are in the right seat. I can't tell you how important that is to make sure that people are doing what they're meant to be doing. If you have someone in a role that has poor customer service, then you don't want them to do follow-ups. So it's really identifying that and having open and honest conversations with your employees to make sure that they're put in the position to succeed. So I try to keep a close connection with my employees to make sure that they're happy and the day-to-day tasks that they're doing is fulfilling for them. Because it's not just about me, it's not just about elevation marketing. Like, I want all my employees to really succeed within and look back and say, wow, like we really created an environment that's thriving and they're happy to be there. I know that sounds so cliche, but it's really important to me.
As a leader, what tips or insights do you have for others to cultivate a workplace like that? What's been a game changer for you?
It's just about having open and honest communication, in my opinion. It really comes down to being a good listener. And I'll be honest, sometimes I'm not, right? And sometimes I have to ground myself and put myself in check and say, let me hear my employees out. Because at the end of the day, if they're voicing a concern or opportunity, I should be thankful. How many employees go day to day and keep their mouths shut, and then all of a sudden they leave an organization, and then leaders go, "Darn, I wish I would have known that." Right? So for me, I want to have an open door policy where my employees know that they can come to me with anything. If they have suggestions, I want them to know that they're just as important, if not more important, than the next client that walks through the door. It really makes an impact. So I would say the number one thing is being a good listener and open to change. So
Mm,
many leaders are passionate about building their infrastructure, and this is how it's going to be, because that's how they envision it. But if you're truly building a team and you're really going to want to scale with the right people, you need to be open to ideas and opportunities where your employees are feeding into that vision just as much as you are.
yeah. I love that. There's this book that we talk about on the podcast. It's called The Five Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. I'm not sure if you've ever read it, but very powerful. Honestly, anything by Patrick Lencioni is amazing when it comes to leadership and organizational structure. And he talks about the five dysfunctions of a team, and it's like a pyramid. And it's all the foundation is the trust that you have within the organization. And when you have the trust, where people can feel like they can speak freely without judgment, without punishment, then it leads to healthy conflict. And then when you have the healthy conflict, you can get more buy-in because even though if we don't go with my route, at least I voiced my concerns. And even if we decide to go do something else, I'm still more bought in because I spoke up. And fostering that is absolutely critical. Let's play a hypothetical game for a little bit. So let's say you had unlimited resources and you could only use them for the company and scaling the company. Where would you allocate those to accelerate the growth of elevation marketing?
I would 100% say it would be in a digital division. Today, we we do not support with website development, social media, SEO, SEM. I know enough to be dangerous, but not enough in confidence to be able to take that onto our plate to be able to offer at a high level.
Mm,
So if we had unlimited funds that we can develop a true team that met the vision of elevation marketing, it would be to really dive into that infrastructure and be ahead of this AI curve. I've been utilizing AI for probably longer than most. And it's an interesting tool and seeing how it's being developed. And I think people are now just coming around to it. So I would be really interested in looking at how that development of AI and a digital team could really take us to new levels for sure.
so adding some sort of AI automation component and services to the businesses?
Yeah, we have some infrastructure right now that we source out with some partners, but not internally just yet.
Got it.
But I will say it's the future, and if anyone thinks differently, they're fooling themselves because between AI and automation, you can really do really impactful things within your business.
100%. I couldn't agree more. Let's go to closing lightning round. So I'll rattle off a couple questions at you. The first thing that pops in your mind. What's the best piece of advice you've received about scaling your companies?
Scaling your companies, I think someone told me years ago about, and I'll probably butcher the way he explained this, but don't step over pennies to pick up, or don't step over dollars to pick up pennies. And what he was trying to portray is going after bad business. Not all business is good business. So I think when we're talking about scaling, I'm learning, I'm still maturing, but we might not be the best fit for everybody, and we have to be okay with that. I'm a yes man. I want to help everyone. Anyone who calls our phone, I want to be happy to support. But to be honest with you, sometimes it's just not good business. So if someone calls me tomorrow and says that they need 2 t-shirts in 2 days, that creates a lot of stress on the business, right? It's a rush order. It doesn't meet our minimums. Do we make it happen sometimes? Sure. But what does that do to our infrastructure? It stops processes in place, right? Other people are waiting for projects. So I would say that advice was really important for me to hear is focusing on what's good business for you, especially when it comes to scaling, because we can't be everything to everybody.
I love that. What's one tool or resource that's been a game changer for elevation marketing?
I would say our project manager tool, we use a product called Trello. I'm not sure if you're familiar with
Yep.
it. It really helps our projects move along a pipeline, which really makes sense for us to be able to visualize and watch projects come into a board and then see it throughout the entire process from a design phase, approval phase, production, and then a delivery phase. Um, Without that, gosh, I feel like we would be so disorganized. So we've adapted that probably about 2 years ago. And that was a game changer for us. We've started adapting some other technology tools, go high level, some communication tools to be able to help with some of this automation. We're far from perfecting it. But yeah, I would say by really leveraging technology and tools and investing in tools. So many people are afraid to invest in products because they're not gonna know how to use it, but it's a learning curve. I still know home care agencies that are doing scheduling on Microsoft Excel. It's go out there and invest in the software that's built specifically to make your company efficient because again, from a scaling perspective, your time is the most valuable asset that you can truly have. So it's lean in on those tools, pay for those tools, to create that system so you can take your company to the next level and make sure that you're focusing on the energy and time that you're putting into the business is being spent in a meaningful way. And again, I say that out loud and know that I still have some work to do externally.
100%. And that's what I love about asking these questions and thinking about these questions is because a lot of times it's things that we need to ask ourselves, right? Last but not least, what's a piece of advice if you could go back in time when you started your entrepreneurial journey that you would give yourself at that point?
If I could give myself advice early on, I would say probably like I said earlier about being a good listener from multiple aspects, right? Not just from employees. I would say early on in my sales career, I did a really poor job. And I'm afraid to admit that, but I think this could help someone. Really discovering people. Marketing and sales is nothing other than identifying an issue problem and having a solution for that problem. Naturally, some people in sales, a lot of people in sales, maybe even most people in sales are not good at identifying that problem and
Yeah.
not being a good listener. We go in and say, I got the best shiny whatever gadget, right? And my gadget is the best because this. And it's like, wait, you didn't even know if your client has that problem. I've really taken a step back. And that's why we do the way we have a systematic way of our discovery calls is identifying what they're doing and then seeing how we fit in, right? Because we might not be the best fit for them, but you don't know that until you identify where their pain points are. I mean, it's kind of sales 101, but I would say if I were to give myself any advice, it would be to be a better listener.
I love that. Thank you so much for making the time today, Adam. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. It was an honor. I had a lot of fun, and I hope this helps someone.
I think it definitely will. So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Again, I want to thank you, Adam, for sharing your incredible journey and your insights with us today. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also find more resources and insights at closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their sales and marketing efforts through world-class systems and playbooks. Until then, keep on climbing.